Okay, I think this is better. Week 4, welcome back. I am very excited for this week, but Luke, welcome back to week 4 of our weekly review. I have a couple of really exciting things to go over, but I think this one should be a pretty quick one. Okay, let's go back to last week. Last week, our main goals were not doing anything except sleeping in our bed and taking magnesium bisglycinate once before bed. Great news! I, for the first time, actually hit both of our goals for this week. I spent every night I took this pill. It's great. It doesn't feel like much, but yeah, it's good. I took it every week. I said I was going to, and I did. And then in my bed, I think I spent maybe an hour or maybe 2 hours in that bed that wasn't sleeping, but that is not bad at all as opposed to me usually spending like 15 to 20 hours a week in that bed that is not sleeping. So huge improvement, very happy about that. And it shows our sleep score, my sleep score is up quite a bit. And let me show you guys. So I'll put it up on the screen, but last week, my sleep score, I had an average sleep score of 45%, and this week we are up 60% since last week. We are at 72%. That is right. We had an average score of 72% every night as compared to 45% last week. That is honestly an amazing improvement, and I think I can actually feel that in myself. Not only do I feel better, but I noticed waking up in the morning, I didn't have like that grogginess, at least not as much grogginess. It was a rough start of the week. In the beginning of the week, it was still really difficult to sleep for a long period of time. There were times where on like Monday night, I genuinely could not sleep more than 6 hours. But now, like for example, last night, I slept 8 hours and 30 minutes. That's huge. I wasn't sleeping that much before. So I'm really happy to see that these things are having a positive effect. My recovery has gone up as well. I just generally feel better. So yeah, and I'm sure I'm healthier as well. On that point, crazy thing, I just started sleeping better and I lost like 2 pounds of weight. Whether me losing that weight was just water weight or actual weight that I lost after fixing my sleep schedule, I don't know. But it's a good thing that, hey, at least, it went down, which is one of my other goals that I generally want to like cut some fat. So I was pretty happy to see that as well. Okay. So I hit all my goals last week. We saw an improvement. I still cannot hit 80%. The highest I hit again was 79%. I don't know if that's a thing in the system or I don't know what I have to do to please this app and make me hit 80%, but I'm actually very happy with the way things are. I'm looking at making these things better. One of the people that I follow online is Brian Johnson. He does like the longevity stuff. He's trying to live longer and he does a lot of things to make his sleep quality a lot better and just his general health quality a lot better. I spent some time looking at his website and I realized that he has these 10 habits that he likes to do. Out of them, one of them is a mindset thing that he identifies as a professional sleeper. He has a solid 30 to 60 minute wind down routine. He tries to get like very bright light. He has this like 10,000 lux device, or he gets light outside within the first 15 to 30 minutes of waking up. I might have to get one of these devices if I want to do this because in Canada where I'm at, the sunlight in the morning isn't super bright. Takes a bit for the sun to come up. So I might need to get one of those. And then he also does things like 2 hours before bedtime, he like basically shuts off everything, has everything on like the lowest brightness. He has blue light filters on his devices. He wears those like red glasses, if you've seen them, red or orange glasses to remove the blue light. He has a very temperature controlled bedroom. He has a humidifier, like a temperature controlled mattress, so on and so forth. He has a bunch of these things that help him get better sleep. After that, he also has a consistent bedtime. So this is something I can work on. Like last night, I went to sleep at 3 a.m. I'm getting enough sleep, but maybe I'm not going to sleep consistently at the same time. He eats his final meal of the day hours before bed. This is something I've trying to do and I've been trying to do for a long time. So I think this is one of the things that I do somewhat well. I obviously don't sleep, like he has it like almost 8 hours or something. Yeah, he has his final meal at 11. and he goes to sleep at 10. So he has his 11 hours before he goes to sleep. No stimulants, caffeine, alcohol. I don't drink those anyways. I don't drink caffeine or alcohol. And then gathering data. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to try and follow as many of these as I can. And it should make my sleep better. One of the things that was really cool that I found while I was going through his website is he said that he has a copper pillowcase. And I was actually really like kind of weirded out. Like what is the point of having a copper pillowcase? So I did some research. There's these 2 studies online that I'm going to show you right now. They're both double-blind, placebo-controlled, parallel, randomized studies, and they both showed that, sleeping on a pillow with these copper oxide fibers over the course of 4 weeks made his skin look better. That was the main reason. It wasn't a sleep quality thing, but it was really cool to see that something like copper being in your pillowcase is something that makes your skin better. One of the weird things is I went online and I was trying to find copper pillowcases, and all the ones that were there online all had polyester in it, synthetic fiber. And I generally try to have as much natural fibers like cotton as I can. So it makes me think, like, is there a way you can have this copper thing with a cotton, like maybe you weave them together? I don't know. That would be cool. I couldn't find any of those online. They all seem to be polyester or nylon for these copper fibers. Something pretty cool to look at. I don't think I'm going to jump the gun and get it yet, but something to keep in mind in the future. Also a very cool finding that copper can make your skin look better, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Some of the things I'll apply right away is having a blacked out room. I have some lights that stay on all night. Like I have this light that helps me, like if I need to wake up in the middle of the night, go to the washroom, I have like a light that just stays on. My computer lights generally stay on just because I'm too lazy to close them off. So it's definitely not a blacked out environment, but I could get there. Also, where I live, it's very dry. So I have a humidifier now. I got a humidifier in my room. I've been using it. It is helping. I find that I don't wake up in the morning with a really dry and rough nose. So I'm gonna keep doing that. But yeah, these are all the things that I'm gonna keep trying to do before bed. So I'm already not doing stimulants, no coffee, no alcohol. I'm not drinking anyways, so it's fine. So these are the real habits that I need to start actually doing. One is the wind down routine, morning light, regulating evening light, so being, turning lights down or turning off lights 1 or 2 hours before bed, regulating the room temperature. Now I can't do that. It's already cold in my room, so I think it's fine. I'm not going to consider that. So I have these 3 so far. Sorry. Having my final meal hours before bed. I generally have it like 3 or 4 hours before bed. I can try to make it earlier, but I'll keep this as a low priority thing. Yeah, these seem to be like the big things that will help me. I already don't do stimulants. I have a pretty good sleeping environment now. So I think this will help me hit the 80, 90%, I hope. The biggest one is just going to sleep within that time window, making sure I don't sleep at like outrageous hours. It goes back to that goal that I had before of being in bed before midnight. It's still something difficult, but I'm keeping that in the back of my brain that this is something that I want to attack very soon. Okay, all that being said, this week is going to be the week that we see if everything I did last week was just, a 1 week fad, or is it something that I can actually keep up? So this week, obviously, we'll have the same goals as last week. Make sure I don't do anything in bed that is not sleeping. And the second one being, where is it? Taking the magnesium pill every night before I go to sleep. But there's another important thing that I want to start doing, is working on that 30 to 60 minute wind down routine. And I think this week is a good time for me to start, because this Thursday, we are planning to go and watch Project Hail Mary. If you remember this book, I tried to read it in my second week and wasn't able to, or first week. But we're going to watch that movie. It has been confirmed. That means I need to get through this book before Thursday. Today's Sunday night. That means I have Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I have 3 nights to finish 470 pages. That means I need to read around 157 pages per night for me to be able to finish before Thursday night. I'll obviously have Thursday morning, but how many pages is that? Let's see. That's about that many pages that I need to finish per night to hit my deadline of Thursday. So what we're gonna do is that's what we're gonna make our wind down routine. 1 hour before bed, we have to read this book, 1 or 2 hours, whenever I decide to go to bed. That's gonna be the goal this week. that we read 100 pages or something of this. That's going to be one of the goals. And the second goal is while I'm reading this, we have to turn all the lights down. That means I only keep this light on and I'll turn all of the other lights off. So it'll be, the time where I don't have a lot of lights in my room. Now the issue is I have to figure out a place to read. I don't want to read in bed because that's probably not a good idea. So I'll have to figure out another place to read. And I don't have that right now. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out a spot to chill and read. But in the meantime, those are our 2 goals of the week. One is 1 hour before bed, we need all the lights turned down. My phone has to be in bed in like the blue light mode, and it has to be on the lowest brightness. And then I have to read this book before Thursday. We need to get this done before Thursday. Unless we decide to not watch it on Thursday. Unless, most probably, I'll have to read this before Thursday. I have to finish this. Those are 2 goals of the week. As always, we will have the 2 goals from last week still going. That means I'm still not doing anything in bed unless I'm going to sleep, and I have to take one of those pills every night. That should be this week. I think we should see a slight increase at least, in sleep quality. I'm already having a good week. Hopefully I can keep it up this week. I think this week is going to be a little bit hectic, but we will see. I think we got this. I don't think it's going to be that bad. We are going to make it through this, and I will see you guys next week. It is 10:15 p.m., April 12th, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.